Hello YouTubers, how's it going? It's time for another episode of Old Film Modern Audience, and today we're going to talk about the film Woman in the Window, starring Edward G. Robinson, directed by Fritz Lang. I believe it was directed by Fritz Lang. I'm pretty sure it was. This was a movie that was suggested in the comments of one of my previous videos as a good place to get started if you want to get into old films. Briefly, The Woman in the Window is a movie that stars Edward G. Robinson. He's a middle-aged guy. He's getting into a midlife crisis point in his life where he has this conversation with these other men, and they say basically in so many words that at their age it's no longer worth it to go on adventures, or they can't really go on adventures anymore. Anyways, Edward G. Robinson runs into this woman in the window. You'll see why that's the case, why she's the woman in the window in the course of the movie. And things start to go a little awry after he actually meets her, and I won't give too much away. This movie is fantastic. I think it's a great movie. I enjoyed it a lot. I saw it with my wife. She enjoyed it a lot. She's not always into old movies. She said it's one of her favorite old movies, period. Is this a good place to start if you're getting into old movies? Do I agree with that guy that made that comment on my other video? Yes, I do. This is a good place to get started. I haven't got around to reviewing all the films that I want to review yet, and that's why I haven't mentioned it yet. But thanks, I think his name was Nathan. Thanks very much for that suggestion. Jamie H. It was Jamie H. It was not Nathan. Anyways, Woman in the Window, I give it 2 thumbs up. The Woman in the Window, it has a certain element in it that I don't think is very common in a lot of movies. I've seen it in Double Indemnity. I've already done a review for Double Indemnity, and I love that movie, and I love this movie as well. The device is they have the person who is guilty of the crime and the people who are trying to search for the person who is guilty of the crime, namely the cops in this particular movie. And they're together in the same room, and the cop is finding out evidence at the same time as the actual guilty person is there with him. And so that creates a really unique element of suspense that I don't think is that isn't used very often in movies. So I think it's worth checking out. It keeps you interested pretty much the whole way. Downsides about this film, I don't think it's really a downside, but you'll see. The end of this movie is technically the most cliche ending in history. I mean, you'll see what I mean when you actually see it. So a lot of people may not like the cliche ending, but it's not really a cliche ending. They somehow pull it off. So that's what was so interesting about it. I'm pretty sure it was even a cliche ending at that time when this movie was released, so I don't think we can give that as an excuse, saying that it was such an old movie. So I give it a recommendation. I say check it out. It's an interesting movie. It's worth watching all the way through, and I doubt that this is going to leave anyone unsatisfied. I think this is a good place to start. Invite some friends over. Say you want to watch an old movie. Throw on Woman in the Window. It's a good place to get started. That's all for this review. I got some other reviews. Please check them out. Thanks as always for watching. Have a great day.